Huawei, a journey through history, present challenges, and future prospects. Introduction. Founded in 1987 by Ren Zhengfei in Shenzhen, Huawei Technologies Company Limited has evolved from a modest telecommunications equipment vendor into a global technology powerhouse. With its operations spanning over 170 countries and a diverse product portfolio that includes telecommunications infrastructure, consumer electronics, and cloud computing services, Huawei has become a pivotal player in the global tech landscape. However, its journey has not been without significant challenges, particularly in relation to international scrutiny and geopolitical tensions. Historical development. 1980s, the birth of Huawei. Huawei began its journey in 1987 with a registered capital of just 21,000 renminbi, approximately $5,000 at the time. Initially, the company focused on importing telephone exchange equipment from Hong Kong and re-engineering it for the Chinese market. Ren Zhengfei, a former military officer, aimed to establish a self-sufficient telecommunications industry in China. 1990s, technological advancements. In the early 1990s, Huawei made significant strides in technology development, launching the C&C08 digital telephone switch in 1993, which greatly enhanced its market position. The Chinese government's support for domestic manufacturers facilitated Huawei's growth, allowing it to secure contracts with major state-owned enterprises. 2000s, global expansion. The new millennium marked a turning point for Huawei. In 2000, the company began its international expansion, establishing research and development centers in various countries including India and Sweden. By 2005, Huawei's foreign contract orders surpassed domestic sales, solidifying its status as a global telecommunications equipment provider. The company entered the Fortune Global 500 list in 2010 with revenues exceeding $21 billion. 2010s, rise in consumer electronics. The 2010s saw Huawei transition into the consumer electronics market, becoming the third largest smartphone manufacturer globally by 2016. By 2018, Huawei surpassed Apple to become the world's largest smartphone vendor, driven by its innovative designs and competitive pricing. 2020s, facing challenges. However, Huawei's rapid ascent faced major obstacles in the late 2010s and early 2020s. The U.S. government imposed sanctions on the company, citing national security concerns and allegations of espionage. These sanctions severely impacted Huawei's ability to procure essential components, particularly semiconductors, from American suppliers. Current situation. As of 2024, Huawei is navigating a complex environment characterized by geopolitical tensions and technological challenges. The company reported revenues of approximately 704.2 billion renminbi, $99.6 billion in 2023, indicating a recovery from the previous downturn caused by sanctions. Despite these challenges, Huawei continues to invest heavily in research and development, allocating over 22% of its net sales to R&D in 2024. Sanctions and their impact. The U.S. sanctions have had a profound effect on Huawei's operations, particularly in its telecommunications and smartphone divisions. In 2019, Huawei was placed on the U.S. Entity List, effectively banning American companies from doing business with it without government approval. This led to significant disruptions in Huawei's supply chain, particularly affecting its access to Google services on its smartphones. In response to these challenges, Huawei has sought to bolster its domestic capabilities, particularly in semiconductor manufacturing. The company has reportedly invested in local chip production facilities and has begun to develop its own operating systems such as HarmonyOS to reduce dependency on foreign technology. Market adaptation. To adapt to the changing market conditions, Huawei has shifted its focus towards software and services, including cloud computing and AI technologies. The launch of HarmonyOS has been a strategic move to reclaim market share lost due to the absence of Google mobile services on its devices. Future outlook. Strategic investments in technology. Looking forward, Huawei plans to continue investing in R&D. With a projected budget of approximately $22.1 billion for 2024. The company aims to enhance its capabilities in artificial intelligence, 5G technology, and semiconductor design. In November 2024, Huawei announced plans to mass-produce its 910C AI chip, a significant step in its effort to establish a self-sufficient tech ecosystem. Global market engagement. Despite facing bans in several countries including the US, Canada, and Australia, Huawei remains committed to expanding its presence in emerging markets. The company is focusing on building partnerships in regions such as Southeast Asia, Africa, and Latin America, where demand for telecommunications infrastructure and consumer electronics continues to grow. Navigating geopolitical challenges. Huawei's future will largely depend on its ability to navigate the complex geopolitical landscape. The company has been proactive in addressing security concerns by enhancing transparency and engaging with regulatory bodies in various countries. However, the ongoing scrutiny from Western governments poses a persistent challenge. Conclusion. Huawei's journey from a small telecommunications vendor to a global technology leader is a testament to its innovative spirit and resilience. While the company faces significant challenges, particularly from geopolitical tensions and sanctions, its commitment to research and development along with strategic adaptations positions it well for future growth. As Huawei continues to evolve, its ability to maintain competitiveness in a rapidly changing global landscape will be crucial to its long-term success. Counterintuitive information in the content. 1. Origin of success versus state support. While many may assume that Huawei's extraordinary growth was solely due to its innovation and market strategies, it also heavily benefited from substantial government support. This includes claims that Huawei received approximately $46 billion in loans and $25 billion in tax cuts from the Chinese government, which contradicts the narrative that its success is purely a product of competitive business practices alone. 2. Perception of national security risks. The widespread belief that Huawei poses a unique and significant national security threat contrasts with the findings of some intelligence agencies such as those in Germany and the UK, which have concluded that they found no evidence of espionage or malicious intent in Huawei's technology. This suggests that the perception of Huawei as a risk may be more politically motivated rather than based on solid evidence. 3. Employee ownership structure. Huawei claims to be an employee-owned company with a trade union committee holding shares on behalf of employees. However, the actual influence employees have over management decisions is limited, leading some academics to argue that the employee ownership model is more of a profit-sharing scheme than true ownership. This complicates the narrative of employee empowerment and contradicts the perception that Huawei operates as a fully private entity independent of state influence. 4. Impact of sanctions. Contrary to what might be expected, the intensive sanctions and restrictions imposed by the United States have not completely incapacitated Huawei. Instead, the company has managed to pivot and adapt, showing resilience by stockpiling components and developing domestic alternatives. This suggests that Huawei's operational capabilities are more robust than anticipated, challenging the idea that sanctions would lead to its rapid decline. 5. HarmonyOS adoption. Initially, Huawei's HarmonyOS was perceived as a backup plan in case of losing access to Android. However, it has gained significant traction in the Chinese market, becoming the second most popular mobile operating system. This indicates that Huawei's strategy to develop its own ecosystem is succeeding, which counters the narrative that it would struggle without Western technologies. 6. Global market positioning. Despite being labeled as a national security threat by various governments, Huawei remains a dominant player in the global telecommunications market, particularly in 5G technology. The apparent contradiction between its contested reputation and its operational success highlights the complexities of international business relations and the tech sector's geopolitical landscape. 7. Perception of espionage allegations. Huawei's denial of any espionage activities and its claims that no evidence has been presented are counter to the widespread belief, especially in Western countries, that Chinese technology firms inherently serve the interests of the state. This dichotomy illustrates the divide in perceptions between China and the West regarding corporate independence and governmental oversight. These counterintuitive elements illustrate the complexities surrounding Huawei's business model, government relations, and the global technology landscape, revealing that the narrative surrounding Huawei is not as straightforward as it may appear. Important overlooked content in the Huawei report. 1. Early years and reverse engineering. Many reports focus on Huawei's later achievements and global expansions, but the significance of its early years 1987 to 1993 is often glossed over. Huawei's initial strategy involved reverse engineering foreign technology, particularly telecommunications equipment from companies like Cisco and Nortel. This foundational period is crucial because it illustrates Huawei's approach to innovation and competitiveness, rather than starting from scratch. The company learned from established players and adapted their technologies to suit the Chinese market. Understanding this strategy sheds light on how Huawei has consistently managed to undercut its competitors while developing its own proprietary technologies. 2. Government support and allegations of state influence. Numerous sources highlight allegations of Huawei's close ties to the Chinese government, but the nuances of this relationship are rarely discussed in depth. For example, Huawei's classification as a national champion by the Chinese state illustrates a broader trend in China's economic strategy wherein the government supports specific companies to compete globally. This duality, being a private enterprise while receiving substantial state support, complicates the narrative around Huawei, suggesting that it is not merely a corporate entity but also a tool of national policy. This aspect is crucial as it reveals the strategic importance of Huawei in China's quest for technological self-sufficiency and global influence. 3. Sanctions and their impact. The report outlines the significant impact of U.S. sanctions on Huawei's operations, particularly those instituted in 2019. However, the narrative often overlooks the resilience and adaptability the company has shown in response to these challenges. For instance, Huawei has aggressively pivoted to domestic supply chains and invested heavily in R&D, spending approximately $22 billion annually. This strategic shift indicates not just survival tactics but a potential long-term transformation of the company's operational model. The success of its Harmony OS, now installed on over 900 million devices, highlights how Huawei is not only countering sanctions but is also forging a new path in software independence. 4. Huawei's R&D investments. While much attention is given to Huawei's technological achievements and its status as a leader in 5G, there is often insufficient emphasis on the scale and significance of its R&D investments. Huawei's commitment to R&D is not merely about maintaining its competitive edge, it reflects a strategic plan to innovate independently of Western technology. By investing in areas like AI chips 910C and developing its own operating systems, Huawei is positioning itself as a self-sufficient tech giant. The implications of this self-sufficiency extend beyond Huawei itself, potentially altering the global tech landscape and diminishing the influence of Western tech firms. 5. Employee ownership structure. Huawei presents itself as an employee-owned company, a narrative that is frequently challenged. The company's claim to employee ownership is often simplified, neglecting to explore its complex structure and the implications it holds for governance and operational transparency. The lack of clarity regarding how shares are allocated and the actual influence employees have on decision-making is significant. This aspect raises larger questions about corporate governance in China and how state influence interplays with private enterprise, particularly in strategic sectors like technology. 6. Controversies and accusations. The extensive controversies surrounding Huawei, including allegations of espionage and intellectual property theft, are often treated as tangential issues. However, these controversies significantly shape the global perception of the company, influencing its ability to operate in key markets. Understanding the context of these accusations, including how they relate to broader geopolitical tensions between the US and China, is essential for grasping the strategic challenges Huawei faces. Moreover, the fact that Huawei has settled several IP lawsuits suggests a complex reality where aggressive business practices may have crossed ethical lines, but also reflects the competitive pressures of the global tech landscape. 7. Huawei's future in electric vehicles. The report hints at Huawei's ventures into the electric vehicle EV market but does not delve deeply into this promising avenue. As traditional telecommunications begin to converge with the automotive sector, Huawei's role in developing intelligent automotive technologies, including partnerships with various car manufacturers, could position it as a key player in the future of smart mobility. This expansion could also help Huawei diversify its revenue streams in the face of declining smartphone sales due to sanctions. 8. International expansion and market adaptation. While Huawei's international expansion is noted, the specifics of how the company adapts its products and strategies to local markets are often overlooked. Huawei's success in regions such as Africa and Asia can be attributed to its ability to tailor solutions that meet local demands and conditions of flexibility that many Western firms struggle to match. This localized approach not only enhances its competitive advantage but also promotes technological adoption in developing markets. 9. Cultural and ideological influences. The report touches on Huawei's corporate culture and its alignment with Communist Party values but fails to explore how this ideological foundation influences its operational ethos and market strategies. Huawei's assertion that it aligns its corporate goals with the broader objectives of the Chinese state reflects a unique interplay between corporate ambition and national policy, which is significant in understanding how Chinese technology firms operate in a global context. Conclusion. The overlooked aspects of Huawei's history, present challenges, and future prospects reveal a multifaceted narrative that underscores the complexities of operating within a global technology landscape, particularly for a company rooted in a unique socio-political context. The interplay between government support, strategic adaptability, and innovative resilience shapes Huawei's trajectory and poses important implications for the future of global technology and geopolitics. Understanding these dimensions is crucial for stakeholders engaged in the evolving narrative of Huawei and its role in the global tech ecosystem. 1. Historical evolution and global expansion. Huawei's journey from a modest telecom equipment vendor to a global technology powerhouse is marked by strategic decisions and innovations. Founded in 1987 by Ren Zhengfei, Huawei initially focused on selling private branch exchange systems. The company's significant breakthroughs in the 1990s, such as the launch of the CNC-08 digital telephones, which laid the groundwork for its rise in the telecom industry. By the 2000s, Huawei had embarked on international expansion, establishing R&D centers and partnerships with global firms like IBM. This expansion allowed Huawei to become the largest telecommunications equipment manufacturer by 2012 and to surpass Apple and Samsung in the smartphone market by 2018. Analyzing these milestones offers valuable insights into how Huawei navigated competitive pressures and leveraged state support to establish itself as a leader in the telecommunications sector. 2. Challenges and controversies. Despite its impressive growth, Huawei faces significant challenges, particularly stemming from geopolitical tensions. The U.S. government has imposed sanctions on Huawei, citing national security concerns and accusing the company of espionage. These allegations have led to bans in various countries, affecting Huawei's access to critical technologies and markets. The scrutiny surrounding Huawei raises critical questions about the intersection of technology and national security in global trade dynamics. A thorough examination of these controversies can illuminate broader themes of trust, surveillance, and the impact of state policies on multinational corporations. 3. Research and development as a competitive strategy. Huawei has consistently prioritized research and development R&D, investing heavily to drive innovation and reduce dependence on foreign technology. In 2023, the company allocated 704.2 billion renminbi, approximately $99.6 billion, to R&D, reflecting its commitment to advancing its technological capabilities. The development of Harmony OS and the 910C AI chip are key initiatives aimed at mitigating the impact of U.S. sanctions and enhancing Huawei's autonomy. This focus on R&D highlights the importance of innovation in maintaining a competitive edge in the tech industry and can serve as a case study for other companies facing similar external pressures. 4. Future outlook and strategic adaptation. Looking ahead, Huawei's future strategies will be crucial in determining its resilience and adaptability in a rapidly changing global landscape. The company's efforts to expand its ecosystem, invest in electric vehicles, and explore new markets beyond telecommunications signal a proactive approach to diversification. Additionally, the success of Harmony OS in China demonstrates Huawei's ability to pivot and innovate in response to external challenges. Analyzing Huawei's strategic adaptations provides valuable lessons in corporate resilience and the importance of agility in the face of adversity, particularly for firms operating in politically sensitive environments. These points can serve as a foundation for in-depth analysis and discussion, exploring not just the trajectory of Huawei itself but also its broader implications on global technology trends, international relations, and corporate governance. 1. IBM and the development of the mainframe computer. IBM, founded in 1911, revolutionized data processing with its introduction of the mainframe computer in the 1950s. The IBM System/360, released in 1964, was a groundbreaking family of mainframe computers that standardized hardware and software, allowing businesses to adapt to new technologies without overhauling their systems. IBM faced challenges, including competition from emerging tech companies and shifts in computing paradigms towards personal computers and servers. IBM's ability to innovate continuously and its investment in research and development were crucial for its survival, much like Huawei's approach to navigating the challenges posed by international sanctions and competition. 2. Sony's rise and fall in the electronics market. Sony, established in 1946, initially gained fame with the invention of the transistor radio. Its Walkman, introduced in 1979, transformed how people listened to music, leading Sony to dominate the personal electronics market. However, as technology advanced, Sony struggled to keep pace with competitors like Apple and Samsung, particularly in the smartphone and music player markets. The company's failure to adapt to digital trends and its inability to leverage its historic strengths ultimately led to significant losses. This reflects a cautionary tale for Huawei, which must continually innovate and adapt to maintain its market position in the rapidly evolving tech landscape. 3. Nokia's transition from telecom leader to struggling brand. Nokia was once a dominant player in the mobile phone market, controlling over 40% of the global smartphone market share in the early 2000s. Its failure to adapt to the rise of smartphones, particularly Apple's iPhone and Android devices, led to a rapid decline. Nokia's decision to stick with its Symbian operating system instead of transitioning to a more modern platform was a critical misstep. Eventually, Nokia sold its mobile phone division to Microsoft in 2014. This history serves as a warning for Huawei as it navigates its challenges. Maintaining adaptability in the face of competition and changing consumer preferences is essential for long-term survival. Future outlook, predictions for Huawei. As Huawei navigates the complex landscape of technology and geopolitics, the future holds both challenges and opportunities for the company. Below are several predictions for Huawei's trajectory in the coming years. 1. Continued investment in research and development. Huawei has consistently emphasized its commitment to R&D, with spending projected to remain high. As the company allocates more resources to innovation, we can expect breakthroughs in telecommunications, artificial intelligence, and semiconductor manufacturing. This focus on R&D will help Huawei maintain its competitive edge and potentially lead to new products that cater to emerging markets and technologies. 2. Expansion of Harmony OS and software ecosystem. With Harmony OS gaining traction particularly in China, Huawei is likely to continue expanding its software ecosystem. By enhancing the operating system's compatibility with various devices including IoT and smart home products, Huawei can establish itself as a strong alternative to Android and iOS. This expansion could bolster user loyalty and create a more integrated consumer experience. 3. Growth in domestic semiconductor capabilities. Given the ongoing sanctions and restrictions on access to foreign technology, Huawei will likely accelerate efforts to enhance its semiconductor manufacturing capabilities. Collaborations with domestic firms and investments in new fabrication plants are expected. By 2025, Huawei might achieve a more self-sufficient semiconductor supply chain, enabling it to produce advanced chips for its products, potentially reducing reliance on foreign suppliers. 4. Strengthening of 5G leadership. Huawei's position as a leading provider of 5G technology is expected to strengthen further. As global demand for 5G infrastructure expands, especially in developing regions, Huawei is likely to capitalize on its existing partnerships and projects. The company could solidify its status as the largest 5G equipment supplier, contributing significantly to telecommunications advancements worldwide. 5. Increased focus on AI and cloud services. Huawei is poised to deepen its investment in artificial intelligence and cloud computing services. As businesses and governments increasingly adopt digital transformation strategies, Huawei may expand its cloud offerings, positioning itself as a key player in the global cloud market. This focus could generate new revenue streams and diversify its business portfolio beyond hardware sales. 6. Potential recovery in smartphone market. Despite setbacks from U.S. sanctions, Huawei's smartphone business could see a resurgence by focusing on markets outside the U.S. and Europe, particularly in Asia and Africa. By leveraging its brand reputation and offering competitive pricing, Huawei might regain lost market share. Additionally, the introduction of innovative features and collaboration with local manufacturers could facilitate a stronger comeback in the smartphone segment. 7. Strategic partnerships and ecosystem development. Huawei is expected to foster more strategic partnerships, both domestically and internationally. Collaborations with local governments and businesses will enhance its footprint in emerging markets. By creating a robust ecosystem of products and services that integrate seamlessly, Huawei can strengthen its position as a national champion in China and beyond. 8. Navigating geopolitical tensions. Huawei will need to remain agile in response to the evolving geopolitical landscape. The company may adopt strategies to mitigate risks, including diversifying its supply chain and exploring new markets. As countries increasingly scrutinize technology providers, Huawei's ability to demonstrate compliance and build trust will be crucial for maintaining its global presence. 9. Emphasis on sustainability and green technology. In response to global environmental concerns, Huawei is likely to invest in sustainable practices and green technologies. By focusing on energy-efficient products and renewable energy solutions, the company can appeal to environmentally conscious consumers and governments. This shift could also enhance Huawei's reputation and align with global sustainability goals. 10. Influence of AI in operations and products. As AI technology continues to evolve, Huawei will likely integrate AI into its products and internal operations. This integration could improve user experiences through intelligent features in smartphones and other devices. Internally, AI can optimize supply chain management, customer service, and R&D processes, enhancing overall efficiency. Conclusion. Huawei's future will be shaped by its capacity to innovate, adapt to geopolitical challenges, and capitalize on emerging market opportunities. By focusing on R&D, expanding its software ecosystem and strengthening its position in key technology sectors, Huawei can navigate the complexities of the global tech landscape and continue to thrive in the coming years. The company's commitment to sustainability and strategic partnerships will further bolster its resilience and relevance in an ever-changing environment.